Welcome back to GDQ HOTFIX. We're still here with Sonic and the Shiny continuing today, so don't want to miss it. Before I throw it over to Oldclov, I want to just mention a few things. HOTFIX is funded in part thanks to your bits and subscriptions, so please consider subscribing to support these broadcasts. These broadcasts are possible because of all the fantastic support you've been showing. I'm glad everyone's been enjoying the marathon. Everyone's been out and voting on polls. And anyway, with that, I think it's time to throw it over to Oldclov with Sonic Mania Plus.
Hello, good evening. I'm Oldclov. I'm going to run Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles and every Knuckles you want. With me, it's Ailis. She's going to do commentary for the run.
Hey, yeah, I'm Alice. I also run this game. Not as well as Oldclov does, though. He's amazing. So
You run as well as I am. So
shush.
yeah.
No.
So yeah, this is Knuckles and Knuckles. So for that, we need to set up to this says C, which means yes. This is Spanish. Language doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm going to do the countdown. So yeah, 3,
Ready.
2, 1, go. All right.
Cool. So, Green Hill 1, you're immediately going to see like spin dashing, which we might have to come to a bit later, because like straight away you're going to see some tech that makes getting the emeralds incredibly quickly in this game. So when in Emerald 1 you're going to see Clov sort of jumping and then like moving sideways through the air. This lets you get speed incredibly quickly, and as you've just seen, the emeralds sort of, they all just happen incredibly fast. It actually means that although this is the all emeralds category, it's also technically any percent because it's just faster to get them, and it enables a lot of tricks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so out of Emerald 1 as well, there's going to be a very tight cycle that Clov's trying to go for. The movement here looks deceptively simple, like because in order to get through it fast enough, you need to sort of not clip any corners and get enough speed out of that jump, and that's absolutely perfect. So catching that cycle there is surprisingly tight. Emerald 2 is one of the shorter emeralds. It's going to be over in about 3 seconds, usually. And there it is.
Yeah, I think I almost messed up the beginning of the second emerald, but yeah, second emerald is easy to get, so there's no worries about that.
Yeah, it's also one that if you do like miss it somehow, which I've managed a few times, it's really annoying to try and catch it as like a backup. So it's just a nice one to get, like to have it go properly. Yeah, like Green Hill 1 is honestly like just an emerald collecting fest, because you get 3 here, and then you're going to be getting, I think you're going to get 1 in the next stage, 1 in the stage after.
Yep.
And then you have just a little break for 1 stage, and then you get the others in STUDIOPOLIS. Emerald 3 is like the worst. This one is like probably the longest that you're going to spend trying to get it.
Yeah, it's glad that it got the Emerald 3 as you saw, because lately I was having problems with that and missing the Emerald. So that's bad. Missing the Emerald is bad. I got backups, but anyway, it's good to get it on the first try.
Yeah, definitely. Like there are some backup emeralds, but it's obviously nice just to get them all first time so that you can take a sigh of relief. The first boss actually shows up a difference with Knuckles. Every other character handles this boss differently, but because Knuckles has a lower jump height than the other characters, he kind of has to like take some damage boosts and do a little jump off slope on the ground. It's just a bit more work for him. It's kind of like a leftover mechanic from Sonic 3, where they wanted to keep Sonic and Knuckles on different paths, so Knuckles couldn't quite jump high enough to get to certain areas, and they put it back in this game, but it's not really gonna matter a huge amount, because there are going to be like moments later where Knuckles can sort of ignore that limitation and go for it. But then also there are going to be some times where it really matters and it's going to make things kind of RNG dependent in certain parts, so that's always fun. That's good to look forward to.
Okay, we are getting close to the 4th emerald, so yeah.
Oh yeah, Emerald 4. Another nice and quick one.
Okay.
Yeah, Emerald 4 is like... It looks very, very simple, but it's very easy to fall off the edge there. Like,
yeah. I fell off the corner a lot of times, and yeah, that's...
Yeah, and if you're too worried about it, you might just go too fast to the left, and then you'll hit the bumper, and then that's also bad, so...
Okay, so first boss.
Oh yeah, it's the final boss from Sonic 2. Everyone who runs Sonic 2, I'm sure, is just like watching you walk through this boss's feet with absolute envy right now, because this boss is horrible in Sonic 2.
Okay. No, fast capsule break, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, you can kind of get like a little jump off of the slope there to go up and hit the capsule, but it's very tight. Yeah, so Chemical Plant 1 is one of the levels where you could have gone for like a backup route, but Oldclov's been brave. He's going on the normal route, which is much faster. So definitely worth seeing. Emerald 5 is like, I think, is it the shortest one? I think it's probably the shortest emerald that you're going to get.
Yeah, this one is really fast.
There you go. It's done. Also, you see a lot of a mechanic like called slope jumping earlier in the level. So when you're running down a slope, you can jump and then gain speed from jumping off the slope, because you're kind of like transferring the momentum like downwards onto the ground and then moving along. So there's like a lot of those in this stage, so you can get it going really quickly. This is also a different route for Knuckles from the other characters, mostly because he can climb up that wall. It just makes that a bit of a faster route than other characters would have. And then through this section, there's going to be a lot of loop jumps and slope jumps.
Wow, what a jump.
What a jump. Oh, no. Well, it's fine. You can just go down this way, right?
Yeah.
You wanted to show that other route I was talking about, right? You wanted to just show the other character's route? It's fine.
Okay. Hopefully... No, Knuckles is not going to help in this boss fight.
Oh, can he?
Sometimes, if the other Knuckles is in another position when you need to damage boost, like if Knuckles is around here, and Knuckles is not taking damage from the first damage boost I'm taking. So Knuckles can take damage later, and then when I'm about to get the second damage boost, and Knuckles is landing the other hit. So yeah, for Chemical Plant 2, I need to focus because this is really hard to optimize, and I need to do... Okay.
Yeah, so this level's going to be starting to introduce a mechanic called super gliding, which you've just seen being used to clip out of ceilings. So super gliding is when, if you hit a box and then glide at the same time, you get the momentum that would normally be given to you from hitting the box, and you go upwards, and you translate that into a glide. But in this game, if Knuckles hits a corner at a certain position, the game will think that you've grabbed onto a ledge because you've gotten slightly inside the wall, and you're going to be going up through it. So he's now going to try and do a thing called... Ooh.
I didn't get Puyo skip. So yeah, we're playing Puyo today.
Yeah, we're playing Puyo Puyo. Mean Bean Machine. So what he was trying to go for there was a clip that would have allowed him to escape the boundaries of the level, and this would have allowed him to skip the Puyo boss fight at this level. But instead we're going to get some Bean Machine. So hype for Bean Machine. It's a great boss, honest. It's not just more RNG, promise. Okay. So if anyone's not familiar with Puyo mechanics, essentially he's going to want to be making stacks of these Puyo blob things, and the best way to clear the stacks is to sort of set up chains. So when there are 4 in a row, they're going to destroy each other, and then if you try and set up a chain reaction from doing that, it's going to give you a lot of damage on Eggman, because it's going to send junk pieces over there. It's definitely not ideal to do this in a run because it's a massive RNG minefield.
Yeah.
But obviously Puyo skip doesn't always behave. It's a very difficult trick. So you can see the junk over there at the moment. So it's just a case of trying to build up until Eggman doesn't have any space left. It's definitely good that you've got some damage on him as well already, because I've had it before where I'm trying to set up something complicated, and then Eggman just does something amazing, and then suddenly my board is full and I have to reset the run because I lost Puyo, which is always depressing. So it's a good thing that's not happening right now.
Yeah, but okay. That was lucky that I don't actually remember the word for that. But yeah, everything fell in the right column, so the boss ended earlier than I expected.
Yeah, the third column in, where the pieces come from, that's the one where if it's blocked, then you'll defeat Eggman. So when that junk landed, it was all stacked up under that column, so that allowed Eggman to just end it there. Studio 1 is horrible, at least in my opinion. It's like all the stages that have great music and a great aesthetic in this game, just I find really horrible to run. I don't know if Clov agrees.
I personally find this level nice, fine, but Studio 2 is an RNG mess for
Oh,
Knuckles.
Studio 2. Studio 2. Oh, so we've had our little Emerald break and we're moving on to Emerald 6 now. This is probably like the least consistent one, I think.
Okay, nice. This is the hardest for me.
Brilliant.
It's really, really bad.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. There's no like real consistent setup for that. I've just noticed now that like Clov does something different to what I do, and lots of other people do it differently as well. Like it's just one of those ones. There's no right way to do it. You just kind of have to pray. And then Studio 1 boss, which is coming up next, is just going to be RNG. It'll take some explaining when we get there, but it's really just I think that's like the RNG that every character has. So Knuckles has some pretty horrible Knuckles only RNG, but this is kind of everyone in the game has this RNG.
Yeah, this is nothing compared to what Knuckles can suffer from RNG.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
This is not something I'm worried about.
Yeah, this is just kind of something that everyone has to deal with. So you're going to see these rockets coming down. The order that you see the rockets from top to bottom are the order they're going to appear on screen, and the blue ones you can hit back at the boss. So there's been a lot of like work done on understanding the RNG for this boss. I think at the moment the current understanding is that there are certain patterns that can happen, and there's like a fastest pattern, and then everything else is like kind of slower or starts to get less consistent.
Yeah.
We don't really know how to manipulate that RNG, but we at least understand how it works. So the good pattern, I believe, is the second rocket on the first set, and then the first on the remaining 3. And that allows you to hit all the transition points for these different sections of the boss fight that it's moving to as quickly as you can and get through the boss in the shortest amount of time. But again, we have no way of manipulating that right now. We just kind of understand that that's how it works, kind of. So if you don't get that exact pattern, then you're kind of just praying that you get like the rockets to be the first ones so that you can move forward as fast as you can.
Yeah, okay, this is actually bad because I need to be careful of the missiles. I have no rings here now.
Oh, yeah, this would be a big time loss. You'll be fine. You've got this.
It's okay.
You're good. Yeah, it's always scary if you run out of rings here, just because Knuckles' jump height as well makes it slightly harder for him to jump the rockets. And if you've got rings, obviously, in a Sonic game, if you have rings, you're basically invincible. Like, you can always just pick up a ring again if you drop it, but having no rings is obviously very bad when you're an echidna who can't jump high. So Studio 2 is going to have a really, really difficult, but also really cool clip in it. So hopefully we'll get to see that.
Yeah, there's a chance we are not seeing that clip because this clip we are going to do, at least we're going to try, and Knuckles usually screws up the setup for that. So yeah.
Yeah, and Knuckles can just break the box, can't he? Or the platform, or he can break a lot of things. Got a lot of anger built up inside him.
And that's the last emerald.
Perfect. Yeah, Emerald 7's another one that's kind of, it's like a little bit freeform. It's a bit harder to have a consistent route through that. But it's always a relief when you see this screen that Knuckles can be Super Knuckles. Like, it's just such a relief. Like,
yeah, I like that Knuckles. The name Knuckles doesn't fit the tag in the background.
Yeah, yeah. Knuckles can't be contained.
Okay.
He's just too powerful for the bonus screens. So this is going to be where the clip is, and Knuckles might. Oh, it's okay. Like, at least you didn't end up down the tube, because that's just a time waste.
Yeah, it's a really big time loss. That tube takes you to a dead end. So yeah.
Yeah, it's literally just a room with a load of rings in it, and then you just have to go back through the tube again. And the tube animation is so slow.
Okay.
So now we're kind of on Sonic's route now, aren't we? Like, this is basically where I know this is where Solo Sonic goes. I don't know if Sonic and Tails go this way as well, but yeah, this is kind of like the backup if you don't get that clip, which is like, it's a hard clip.
Okay, so we're coming to a boss that I love so much because this is the first boss that Knuckles can suffer from RNG, like a big time.
Yeah, so a fun fact about Knuckles' jump height, it's the one thing that doesn't get buffed by his super form because we wanted to keep him on the same like level as he normally would be. The problem is it means that he can't just hit this boss, but Oldclov's got good RNG actually, getting the wind.
Yeah.
This allows him to get all 8 hits immediately. So if you get blown up here, and then because you're invincible, you can just bounce on Robotnik's head. And
I'm
this
so
allows
glad that.
him. Oh my word. Why can't I have this luck in my runs, Clov? This isn't fair.
Okay. This is the first time that I saw this storm happening during the ending of the boss. That never
But
happened
yeah.
before.
What? That's weird.
I don't know
why
why that happened.
Did that slow it down? Like, did it slow
Yes.
the capsule?
Yeah.
Well, rip. I guess bad good RNG.
Yeah, at least.
So flying battery, as intended in chat, please, if you can.
And intended.
Or
So-
and intended, sorry, the superior one because it's an echidna.
Okay.
This stage has got like a big cycle going on, where you're trying to hit like a, essentially you're going to see later there are going to be like ceilings that will pull you up onto them if you've got a lightning shield, and they kind of go on a cycle of being like on and then off, and Clov's going to want to hit a certain like part of the level before a certain time so that he can get a good cycle on that to go through it quickly. It's not a huge issue for Knuckles compared to other characters. Oh, also, Super Knuckles. We should probably talk about that at some point. It's not a huge problem for Knuckles compared to some other characters because he can climb the wall. But for other characters, if they miss the cycle, they just have to sit and wait. But yeah, Super Knuckles. He's invincible. He moves really quickly. He doesn't get any jump height, but he does like damage enemies and stuff while just like from walking into them. So that was a good cycle there. He was able to just jump up that ledge instead of having to climb the wall. There's more cycles here as well with these rockets, and he just got a very good cycle. So those rockets, obviously, they break the floor for you. If you don't get there fast enough, then you're going to have to wait for the next set. And straight down to the next boss. And this boss also has like some cool strats very similar to the last boss, but this one isn't RNG dependent. So what Clov's going to do is he's going to glide off the top of the screen, and when that happens, Knuckles' horizontal position doesn't change. He's just floating in place, which means that when the boss becomes active, he can let go in the right position and drop down on top and get all the 6 hits. Because due to Knuckles' jump height, he can't hit the boss until it's like really far into the boss fight. So this is just a nice way to avoid the kind of Knuckles limitation. What's in Flying Battery 2? Oh yeah, Flying Battery 2 is it's kind of a really easy place to see where they've been adding in sort of new mechanics. So with these old levels from like older games, they try and bring in new mechanics into the second stage of each one. So in this stage, you've got like the junk, which is like obviously not in the original game. And this is what happens to the bonus rings when you've got all the emeralds, is they give you 50 rings, which is super important because that's what lets you turn into Super Knuckles. You need 50 rings, and then you jump and press a button and you transform. That's actually going to be really relevant in some later levels because there aren't those rings around, so you need to collect them throughout the stage, and if you get hit at any point, you lose all of them. So it's very important to not get hit in certain stages.
Okay, can I do this right? All right. Okay, that's the good jump.
Oh yeah, that jump is like, it looks so simple, but it's not. That jump is just horrible. If you don't jump at just the right time, then you don't get quite enough height to get up that platform, and then you have to fall down and try it again. Are you going to get the nice little, oh, that's perfect. So if you get a perfect spin dash and jump at just the right time through that spike gap, you can skip that little grabber. It's a nice little time save.
Okay. Okay, I thought I was going to die there. Oof.
Oh, I think we're a tiny bit behind, but let's. Oh yeah, that was a precarious little moment. So this trick makes like use of the fact that Knuckles' glide increases in speed as he keeps going. So what he's doing is he's gliding over a death plane, but when he's past the death plane and over here, he's in the capsule area because the boss for this level just loops indefinitely till you beat it. So the capsule is actually stored in an area that it loops to, and it turns out that area is below that gap. Normally there's a wind barrier pushing you back through there, but Knuckles can get through it with the Super Knuckles speed. Press Garden's another stage that's beautiful, but I personally just hate running it. That's a nice little jump. That's a very difficult jump to get up there quickly through those press reels. And it's going to be another stage where we get the rings from the Super Ring. Oh, also spin dashing. That's a thing. It's probably been explained in other games, but spin dashing in the older games is the most optimal way to do it is 6 frame perfect jumps, and then release crouch on the 7th frame, and that'll give you the most speed. In this game is actually like slightly more leeway, so it's slightly nicer to spin dash in this game than the older games. It's like a 3 frame window, I think. Yeah, it's,
also, I'm very bad at the spin dashing. I usually get either straight jumps on the classic games or just jump as soon as you release the spin dash.
Oh yeah, I found that as well. Like going to the classic games and you're used to this game's like leniency, and then you go to the old games and you're just kind of jumping everywhere. Yeah, that definitely happens. It does mean that this game's like very like, I think compared to the older games especially, it's very like new player friendly, because you don't have to be quite as tight on the spin dashes. So it's, I mean, it was my first speed game, and I'm sure it's been a lot of other people's first as well. It's a great game if you want to get into speedrunning, like a 2D Sonic game.
Say hello to this boss. Hello.
Everyone wave. Here he is. Shoutouts to Argic. Every time I see the boss waving, I think of Argic, because it's just like he was the person I watched who said that the first time. So yeah, that boss is kind of, it's kind of like a recipe for what the other bosses of this game are going to be, because a lot of them are just completely trivialized by the fact that he's Super Knuckles. So this is actually a way to skip like a small running section of the game. By gliding here and then landing at a certain time and spin dashing, Clov can maintain control during the not maintain control during the cutscene, but during the stage transition. And by releasing the spin dash, he can go through that section with more speed, because normally that cutscene would just have Knuckles walk really slowly. So it saves like a few seconds to go quickly through that. This level has like a really horrible section. It's my favorite level aesthetically, and I love the music, but
Yeah,
it is just it is just like the worst section through here, which I'm sure Clov's going to do absolutely perfectly. So getting that ice cube, if you don't go smoothly through there, getting that cube to land on you properly and with enough speed is surprisingly tricky. So that bit's always nice to see go well. Did you? I can't quite tell from the video. Did you hit the speed shoes on the way through?
Nope. And that's good, because speed shoes slows down Super Knuckles.
Yeah, it just sets like a flat speed, like cap, kind of. And it also reduces your control as well. Slightly. It's like you carry more momentum from your movement, so you can't control as precisely. So getting speed shoes when you're super is just horrible. It messes with your muscle memory so much. And there's a section there where you just can't really avoid it. So you just might get speed shoes.
Yeah, whenever I get a speed shoes there, instead of running straight to the end of the boss, I just spin dash, stop it and spin dash, because that's actually faster with speed shoes.
Yeah, it's like, just the drop off in speed is crazy. This stage is horrible as well. This is Starter Speedway from Sonic CD. Obviously they didn't add in the future past mechanic from that game with the time traveling, but they did kind of make use of the assets from that to kind of like give a little nod to it. So you'll notice that stage 1, or Act 1 for this stage, is the like past version, and then you've got the future version for Act 2 as well. So it's going to be like it's like a nice little homage to that mechanic without having to put it into the game fully. This stage, like I'm sure you just saw that corridor with all the spikes and the enemies. That one's just very nasty when you're trying to maintain your rings, because you need 50 by here really to get super form. You can obviously finish the level without it, but it's slower and it's slightly riskier because you might die. But yeah, getting super there is ideal. This boss actually has like a really weird mechanic that I didn't understand until recently. It doesn't like light or something. It's something like if you jump, then the boss doesn't spawn until you land, or something really weird like that. I don't understand it fully.
Yeah, you need to stay on the ground as much as you can for this boss, because that's, yeah, for some reason, I just playing. For some reason, the boss won't spawn if you stand in the air.
Yeah, he waits till you land and then just appears for some reason. Like, again, I think it's something to do with the fact that you're Super Knuckles and you're like shining and it doesn't like light or something like that. I'm not. Thematically, that would make sense, right? Like,
I don't actually know, but why is that a thing? But yeah.
Yeah, so like you always try and go through that section staying as close to the ground. Speedway 2 is, I mean, it's got a really cool soundtrack, and it's a level that looks really, really flashy as well, because there's a lot of like fast-moving sections. It also has, it's like the halfway point of the level, so that, of the game, sorry. So they have like a more kind of involved boss. I don't know if Oldclov's going to go for the like the clip in the boss. Yeah, will you go for that?
Yeah.
You are going for it? Ooh,
yes.
Okay, cool. So, shoutouts to Yuki for telling me after my run at FF that you can softlock the game real hard there if you don't do it properly. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen.
Still, there's a chance to get free of the softlock with Knuckles, only with Knuckles. But
you can get free?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I was talking about the other softlock. There's 2 soft locks, I think.
Oh yeah, I need to wait for Knuckles.
Yeah, so, oh, that was perfect. That was amazing. So into that corner, straight through, and then Knuckles didn't mess you up. Because what he can do is he can go into the room where Silver Sonic normally is, and then by doing that, he kind of triggers that section, and you can't actually beat the Silver Sonics because you're up here. So the game just kind of locked up. So great to see that not happen.
Oh, that's too high. So there is a way to break this capsule earlier if you do what I did right now, but you need to time this really nice. Because what happens is you can just go lower than you need, or just go higher and that lose time.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever hit that. So like, I'm assuming it's very difficult. So HYDROCITY, I've just seen the poll that was made about it being HYDROCITY and not HYDROCITY, so well done everyone for voting. HYDROCITY is absolute banger of a soundtrack.
Yeah, I love it. This is basically my favorite water level in all video games.
Yeah, it's like the only good one, right? I don't think there's any good water levels in other games. Not that I've played anyway.
Also, it's happening.
Oh, it's happening. Wow. The wow sound effect. The problem is, right, getting the wow sound effect means you can't hear the whoop sound effect from getting the air bubbles, and that's my favorite. So,
oh yeah,
I'm the one who's lost out here, really. Let's be honest. But it's okay. Wow is good too. Second favorite sound effect.
For that.
Oh yeah, that this section here, like, so obviously when you're he's not super right now because we're going to be using that for a trick later. But essentially, usually the only real like issue that you're going to have with Knuckles when your super forms is also that floor is just not a thing. When your super form is like getting crushed or falling out of hits. So, oh, what? Best noise. So
yeah, the other Knuckles gets that, but I lost the seal, so I got the bubble as well.
Oh, nice, double what? But yeah, the only things that really worry Knuckles are drowning, being crushed, and like falling off cliffs. So that section there, we can get crushed by those boxes, is horrible. So this is going to be a big like skip here. Essentially, when you turn Super Knuckles, you become intangible for a moment and you lock in place. And where the ceiling is falling here, it will lower itself above you, and then when you regain control, you're in the ceiling. This lets you climb up here, and then you can climb the wall, and you're essentially going to glide over the whole boss. So if you love the boss from this level, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we need to go fast.
Yeah, we have to get fast. A lot of people like this boss, especially because it's like a big shout back to Sonic 3. But yeah, just not a thing. Sorry. Hydro 2 is actually... So earlier I was saying about how each stage has like a gimmick in it that gets added in the second act usually to kind of like modernize the stage a bit. This is the stage where they did it the other way around. So we didn't see any of them because they're slow. But in Hydro 1, there's a gimmick.
I was trying the aisle roll.
Ah, I see. It's easy enough to just climb up there though, so that's not a problem. But yeah, so they have the gimmick in Hydro 1, but because like Hydro 2's music and kind of stage layout and stuff is so iconic from Sonic 3 that I think they wanted to keep this kind of more true to the original. So I think it's the only level where the gimmick is in the first half of the stage rather than the second. Funnily enough as well, because they kept a lot of the stage layout from Sonic 3, there's actually going to be a skip that's exactly the same as in Sonic 3 as well, which is just coming up now. So there's a big figure of 8 section that
also
normally sends you like all over the place. But oh yeah, backwards run.
Okay. I need to transform into Super Knuckles as close as the breeze as I can. So I can instantly do a spin dash from there and just go fast. Also, wow.
But yeah, yeah, that section there, like you have to, in order to do super transformations after a ramp like that, you have to jump off of it because you can't do it if you're like just spin dashing. You have to have jumped in order to do it. So you have to actually angle that jump perfectly to get up there. So that was really nicely done. I'm always too scared to go for that. This is another RNG boss. Hooray! Just in case you didn't have enough of those.
It's okay. I also don't worry about RNG in this boss.
Yeah,
it's good if we get a good cycle here. We didn't get a good cycle, but it's okay.
Yeah, essentially, like, this boss is all driven by how much stuff there is to push yourself onto. Usually you'd hit those bombs, activate them, and then they'd fly back and hit Robotnik. But instead, because we're super and we're going to damage Robotnik, the walls can just push you into him, and then you become the bomb, essentially. This boss is the Act 1 boss in Sonic 3, and you can just kind of kill it in exactly the same way that they do in Sonic 3, I think. That they, like, spin up on top of it. And then that's the swag jump. So...
Also...
Yeah, do you want to say this?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to say that we're going to the best... okay, Knuckles? No, thank you. We're going to the best Mirage Saloon 1. Knuckles plays a version that is not an auto-scroller, because Knuckles gets knocked out from the plane. So, fortunately for him, for Knuckles, this version of Act 1 is not an auto-scroller, and I can't just pronounce auto-scroller anymore. And it's actually faster as well, so yeah.
Yeah,
for
that
the price of
auto-scroller.
one.
The auto-scroller is just horrible. It's got one trick in it that speeds up one section of it, but you have to keep your rings through it, and I'm just terrible at not getting hit by enemies in it. So it's nasty. But Knuckles gets a stage, and a pretty fun stage as well, to be honest. It's a really great stage to play. The music's great. You've also got, like, you're gonna see like a little kind of shortcut through here, where essentially if you spin dash off of this ramp, then Knuckles can grab onto the wall just up there, and it lets you skip like a section of the game, which is always nice to get. This level's kind of like, I like to say it's like a reference soup. There's like a lot of like little small references to like the Master System games, as well as planned concepts for Sonic 2 and Sonic CD. So it's kind of like a big like amalgamation of different things that could have been in the games or were in games that maybe people don't necessarily know too well. And then we're not going to see it, but the final boss of Act 2 is also going to be a reference to the Archie comics, I believe, like some of the enemies from that. I think this boss, for example, is from Sonic Chaos.
Yeah, this is from Sonic Chaos.
And that is a sick time for this level as well. 116 is crazy.
Also, I'm glad I got the bouncy strat. It's just bouncing on the boss.
Yeah, that's always like a nice strat to get, because it's quite easy. The boss is like made of bumpers, so sometimes if you hit one of those instead of the boss, then you can kind of end up stuck at the bottom. Oh, this glide, by the way, is so cool.
I'm just trying to know if this is a good glide. I need to adjust. Okay, that's good.
So,
I love this glide.
Yeah, it's so cool, right? Like, that stage, it's not like a big open stage where there's like a big space, so it has to be a very specific angle, but you can just like ignore half the stage from gliding, and it's really, really cool to see. Like, it's just like... It's when you go through the boxes, that's normally when you're just like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Oh, Knuckles fell off from that. Okay, so we're going for ice cream strats because we got a partner here, so we can skip the boss.
Yeah, so what Club's going to do, basically, is get Knuckles in a certain spot, send him down into the boss room, and then spin dash and jump in a certain position, and Knuckles down there is going to hit the capsule for him. Just like that. Perfect.
Alright. Going to Oil Ocean, my favorite.
This level. It's quite fun to run, I find, but it's just, there's a lot of like little bits that you can just catch yourself on. Instead of having like smooth slopes, you've got these stairs everywhere. It can be quite easy to like catch yourself on them. There's also one section that I always manage to die on, so... Like, do you know the one I mean with the pistons? Like, you can just get crushed under them, but it takes a lot of effort to get crushed by them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
like...
that happens a lot.
Yeah. It's like, you think, oh yeah, I'm going to land on the piston, and the piston isn't there, and then by the time you realize it's not there, it's crushed you.
Okay, so we're going to see Bob the Builder again, so... If you got some, you try it emotes. It's time to...
Can he fix it? No, probably not. Yeah, like, I don't think I've seen that boss attack in a long time.
Alright, I think this is good position. Let's see.
Yeah, so by positioning Knuckles and the other Knuckles, it's slightly harder with and Knuckles in a certain spot. And when the cutscene happens, Clov's going to miss the switch. This stops the level mechanic from happening that causes the smog to slowly fade in and out and make him lose rings and stuff, which is great because he's going to need his rings for a potential skip coming up.
Yeah.
It does mean that your screen is orange now, though, and it's kind of stuck like that for a while, so It's all in the name of
Yeah.
going fast, honest.
If you don't see anything, don't worry. I know where I am.
Yeah, it's like it's easier to see when you're playing the game, but on stream, it's ever so slightly harder to see what's going on. Especially with some of the reference points in the background. So now that Clov's got rings, he's going to go up to this section and he's going to try and push himself into a wall and then turn super when he's in the wall to land a clip out. Oh, that's amazing. So by doing that, he can climb up into the wall, and he's going to do this sort of... It's kind of a newish setup for this movement through here. It makes it more consistent than the previous route, which kind of required you to take like a leap of faith to hit the capsule. Essentially now, Knuckles is in like a different path to where the rest of the level is, because you kind of skipped a path switcher, which allows you to go through all the scenery. But the problem also means that, perfect, if he missed that capsule, the floor doesn't work for him, and he can't get back up.
Yeah, if I fail that, I need to restart.
Oh yeah, if you fail it, sorry. I thought something went wrong. I was worried for a second. So that's like a massive glitch, and now you're going to see a level with no glitches, because Lava Reef it's basically just platforming, but I quite like that because this music is my favorite, I think, in the whole game. And
yeah, this is a very good song.
Yeah, it's just great to have it going like for as long as possible. Like, let's just maximize Lava Reef 1, please.
I like Lava Reef 2 better than this one, but yeah, because of the guitar.
Oh, okay, that's true. Lava Reef 2 is very good. It does have a lot of skips. It doesn't have like... It has like quite big skips, but the level's still quite long in spite of it. So you still get a good chunk of music. So yeah, it's basically going to be platforming through here. You're going to see like a little flashback to Sonic 3 as well, with this guy who rocks up and breaks the floor everywhere. He's actually going to be the boss for this level, but I just hope he wasn't too disappointed that he just gets Super Knuckles rock up and destroy him without any effort.
Yeah.
He's waited like 20 years to be a boss. That's like a nice little roll through there. If you roll and you're going at the right speed, you can just get through that before the platform ascends too much, which is always nice. There's just like a lot of like little optimizations in this level that feel very nice when it's all gone well. Like that jump up through there, for example, looks so cool. It's very satisfying to get that one.
Yeah, it's so good. Okay, from here it's pretty much running to the boss room, so there's nothing much to talk about. It's basically just a small thing here. Okay, that platform broke. If you step on that breakable platform and you move to the left as quick as you can, sometimes that platform breaks later.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I need to try that. So yeah, here's the boss. This boss is like, he just tries so hard. He's got like this invincible armor, he can't take any damage for a while, and the lava is like breaking him, and he's just trying his best. He just wants to be good at this game, but he's not. I mean, he's getting Am Knuckles, I suppose. That's like something. So yeah, now that the armor's gone in the middle, he can just hit him, or the boss kind of just hits itself on him, and then it's dead. So.
Okay, I think it's time to turn off the lights.
Oh, you're doing this. This is fantastic. I can't play like this, so I'm always happy when someone else does it, because I can't do it. I can do the thing, I just can't play very well when it's happened. So when this screen blacks out, by skipping the cutscene, the game is going to be stuck in that blacked out state, and you just get these really pretty crystals in the background. So obviously it's harder to see, but it's so pretty that it's worth doing.
It's so good.
Yeah, it just looks so awesome. And the lava just contrasts so well.
I just need to warn about when I move to the next zone in this Act 2, you just need to be careful, because you might get your eyes hurt.
Oh no, I haven't seen what happened.
Because of sudden light.
So this is another intangible clip, like in Hydro 1. Instead you're being pushed sideways by some terrain this time, and that looks quite small, but it skips like a minute and a half. Like, there's a lot of level down there that you're supposed to go through. So
oh, yeah.
It's a nice like clip. That
It's a really big one.
Chunk. Yeah, it's one that every character gets as well. I'm pretty sure everyone can do that.
Also, we got Fun Glitch. Song glitch.
Oh, song glitch. I can't hear the music sadly on my end. But,
okay, it's over.
Yeah. Oh no.
Okay, so instead of going to the left, which is the intended route, we're going to the right for one thing.
Yeah, so remember when I said normally you need a super glide to get into a corner in the right spot? Well, this corner is just dumb. So you can just do that. And now we're going to try and spin dash. That was perfect. First try. Amazing.
Get in first try.
Yeah, if you do a perfect spin dash and jump in just the right spot, you can get up there. The game doesn't want Knuckles to go up there. That's Sonic's exit to the level, or the other characters, like all of them. Yeah, but
Continue.
yeah, so Knuckles can only get up there by standing in that exact spot and doing a perfect spin dash and jumping at just the right time, and then he just gets up there, because otherwise he just can't make it with his jump height. So this boss is Knuckles' like own special boss. The other characters all fight. I think it's Heavy Rider, I think her name is, or something.
Yep.
Yeah, but we've got Heavy King here instead, because they wanted to have the little like homage to Knuckles getting shocked off the Master Emerald in Sonic 3.
Yeah, for the people who said, oh, I wanted the Super Emeralds in Sonic Mania, there they are.
Yeah, there they are. They're your little platforms for your boss fight. More people need to run Knuckles so they know that, to be honest. More people need to run Knuckles in general. He's the best character.
Yeah.
So here's the real final boss of the game. It's Metallic Madness 1.
Yeah, this level is really, really annoying. But if we're lucky enough, we will skip the first boss.
Yeah, it's a very difficult trick. It does have a backup, which is even more difficult. But right now, like the stage itself it's not like easy in itself. But right now you get some like platforming. But there's going to be a huge skip coming up that takes a lot of explaining. So by jumping off of that, and you can get enough height and then glide onto the wall to skip that section. There's a super glide you can do as well, but it's slightly slower. It's just like a little bit more consistent. And this is going to be the clip. So, use the enemy in the position in the wall.
Okay, backup time.
Oh, okay, we're going for the backup. So he would have clipped into the ceiling there off of that super glide. But we're going for the backup instead. This is very, very hard. He needs to do a 4-tap spin dash and then jump at an exact spot, like on the ramp, and then glide at just the right time to clip into the ceiling. It's the kind of trick that you could spend a lot of time doing. So,
Let's
perfect.
go.
Let's go. That's insane. So now he's out of bounds. He's going to go up on top of the level. He's going to move over to the right to drop down into the room above the signpost. And then he's going to move left across the signpost, and that will still hit it from above. But then he needs to die in a very specific spot to not soft lock the game. And this is a true soft lock. You can't even pause the game if this happens. So he's going to jump, and that's absolutely perfect.
Yeah. So what happened there is, if I need to die and the exact time the scorecard is fading from the screen, because if I do it earlier, I stay in the at 1. If I do it later, it's a soft lock.
Yeah, so
and I need to either close the game or just accessing that menu and restarting, going to the file select screen.
Yeah. Also, here's Chibi Knuckles. He's adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's essentially, if you do it too early, then you've not gone past the point at which the game registers you're in the Act 2. So it puts you back in Act 1 when you respawn. If you do it too late, then you're just past, like, I think the game is like stuck in a transition cutscene between the levels or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it just can't progress from there because Knuckles isn't there to move. He's like off screen, he's dead. So you end up just frozen. The same thing can happen in Hydro 1 as well, I'm pretty sure, right?
I don't actually know.
I think in Hydro 1, because if Hydro 1 will like just take the last input that you pressed when you when the score screen ends and just keep doing it indefinitely. So if you hold any direction other than right, you just get stuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's Hydro 2.
Oh, Hydro 2, sorry, not Hydro 1. Yeah, Hydro 2. So this is just a gumball machine of bosses. And they're all annoying in their own special way. So you've got the Amy bots that just don't ever want to get hit for some reason. You've got the flying guys who just get in your way, and you've got the ground guys who go off screen. So if they go off screen and you've not killed them, then it wastes time. So it's just about like efficiently killing them. Oh, he got hugged by Amy. Poor Ann Knuckles. He's trying his best. Also, these like laser fields, if you like jump and turn around into them, you can come out the other side. Normally they're meant to push you back the way you came from, but you can just go through it. It's like a tiny little time save, but it's nice to get.
Yeah.
So, final stage.
The last one.
Yep, TM1 is, I find it a really fun stage to run, but it's got some like tech in it that makes it somewhat frustrating.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's a 2 ceiling clips that I always find don't behave for me. I don't even go for one of them in runs yet because I'm just not consistent enough at it. So I'm assuming you're going for it. I've seen you do it in runs recently. So you got that one first try. That's awesome.
Yeah, that one is the easier one. The
Yeah.
second one is, well, not found recently, but we started putting that in runs because we
Yeah,
found
I
that
think-
it's actually consistent. Not
Yeah,
not that bad.
Yeah, essentially, like every character does it with a slightly different timing. And I think it was originally thought that Knuckles couldn't quite do it, like consistently enough. But with some more practice and setups and stuff, it's become more consistent. So funky camera, first of all, the camera can't quite keep up because you've gone somewhere it wasn't expecting you to go. And now what he's going to try and do
Okay,
is
second try. Wow.
you got it second try. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's amazing. So he's essentially put himself in the wall, turned around, and then by doing that, he's pushed himself into it and skipped through the wall. That's really
Yeah.
good.
There is a frame where Knuckles stands still on the ceiling, and in that frame you need to jump to clip inside the wall, inside the ceiling.
Right.
Also, another RNG fest for Knuckles.
Yeah, so other characters can just hit this boss in super form. Knuckles cannot. So he's got good RNG on the third one there, so that wasn't too bad. The worst
Yeah,
I've
that
seen
was-
is
that
9
was decent.
bad RNGs in a row. And this is obviously the second to last boss in a normal run. So yeah, imagine losing your run to RNG at this point of the game.
Yeah, we're free of RNG. No.
Yeah. So this is another level in which Knuckles is like by far the best character because there's a very big skip that I think every character can do, but Knuckles has by far the easiest way of doing it.
Yeah.
So other characters just like this is like a huge reset point for if you're trying to push your time like below a certain point because you need to get that
Okay.
clip.
I'm going
But,
to do something else for all of you to enjoy for the last
Oh.
time. Yeah. Okay. 38 rings. I need 2 more rings that I'm going to get here.
Yeah, you should get those right in this section.
Okay. One last wow.
Oh yeah, I forget about the wow. The wow.
Okay,
So,
that's
yeah,
why I
Knuckles-
need Super Knuckles.
Yeah.
Just
So
for
Knuckles
that.
can Knuckles can go through that like corner very easily. Other characters have to do a very like frame specific jump to push themselves into the wall. You can actually do that section without Super Knuckles, but it's real slow to like go up through that wall, and you have to hold right in a certain spot, or you get stuck in a section, and it's just a mess. So having Super there is like the optimal way. And now we're on the final boss, or sort of final boss. In a normal run, there's going to be more bosses.
Quotation
but
marks
this-
final boss.
Yeah, the final boss. So this guy has 4 tentacles, and 4 hits will break a tentacle. So he has 16 hits total. And by jumping at a certain time, Clov can
Okay.
basically, ooh, not quite that, but Clov can bounce on his head and get multiple hits in one go. Like optimally, you want to get 5, 5, 4, and then 2. That's like the
Okay,
fastest way.
this
But
is-
so long
this
as Clov
this
clears
is kind
the
of bad.
tentacles,
This
Oh,
is kind of bad.
you'll be okay if you can get the timing on the next one. Because
Yeah.
if you haven't broke the top tentacle, you can still get 5 hits in phase 2, which I found out at the end of one of my runs, and I was just amazed. I didn't realize that could happen. So
All right.
should be okay.
Oh, come on. I failed the last one. So, what
maybe Shinobi
happens
strats.
here? Yeah, what happens here if I miss that hit, we are going to another room with another heavy, whatever they call, I can't remember right now. And this one is so long, it
Yeah.
uses a lot of time. I
Heavy
should have
Shinobi is
finished
the
the boss
slowest.
by this time.
Yeah, Heavy Shinobi is the slowest one. So it's like not only have you not killed the boss in like the phase that you wanted to, but you have to sit through this as well.
Also, I don't know what kill Knuckles. Wow. It's-
He found a way. He's just like flexing his power. He's like, I don't even need to be on screen to be this boss.
Alright.
He's the ultimate power. So that
This
would
boss is
normally
gone?
be yeah, that would normally be in a normal run. That would be time, but because we have Ann Knuckles, we're going to be moving on to Egg Reverie,
Yep.
which has an awesome soundtrack. A lot of this game has an awesome soundtrack, to be honest.
Yeah, I love the soundtrack. T-Lobes did
Yeah.
a really great job here.
Yeah. So normally this would be Sonic's final boss for Sonic or Sonic and Tails if he has all the emeralds. Knuckles without and Knuckles doesn't come here. Other characters with and Knuckles don't come here, but Knuckles and Knuckles comes here.
So it's all the emeralds, of course.
Absolutely. Super Knuckles is the real superpower here. Super Sonic's got nothing on Super Knuckles. So
The funny thing is, if you beat this game with Knuckles and not all the emeralds, you finish in Titanic Monarch, you go with Knuckles and Knuckles to the end, and there is another Knuckles waiting for you.
Yeah, there's a third Knuckles. Just so many Knuckleses. So yeah, this section is literally going to be Eggman's going to show up, and you just walk into him. Fairly easy to hit him. But when Heavy King shows up, you have to time your spin dash to get through his orbs. Otherwise, it becomes really horrible.
Also, time is coming up soon, so on the last hit.
Yeah, they take 8 each, so
I'm ready.
very close. But yeah, and obviously you're in super form here, but you have like an extended glide, so you can fly indefinitely, and your rings are constantly dropping down. You have like a dash. It's a really cool stage.
Oh, I jumped there. Okay, Heavy King, please. All right.
That's how Heavy King be.
Yeah, Heavy King can be a bit trolly sometimes. All right, that was a clean hit.
Oh, the clean ones look so good. When you just
Okay,
go straight through.
I think it's just one left for each one. Let's see. Okay. Time. So yeah, that's it. That's Knuckles and Knuckles. And what's the ending of this? Is Knuckles going to Sonic Forces? Let's see.
This is the best ending.
This is definitely true ending for me. Well, it's just Knuckles telling a story to the flickies and animals.
He made the whole thing up. There was
Sonic Mania was made by Knuckles.
Knuckles and Knuckles, based on a true story. I just love Sonic and Tails in the background. They look so disappointed.
So yeah, what time did they get?
Well, that was an awesome run. Are there any last-minute shout-outs or anything you'd like to plug before we take a quick break?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, shoutouts to Sonic speedrun community. For shoutouts to A-List for the awesome commentary at CD.
Oh, thank you. I tried my best.
Yeah, that's basically it. Shoutouts to everyone for basically, well, yeah, and another shoutouts to the staff of Sonic and Shiny Things and Games Done Quick for letting me be here today and do another Knuckles and Knuckles run here. Like the first time I'm doing a Knuckles and Knuckles run here, but yeah, I hope there's another chances.
More Knuckles. More Knuckles.
More Knuckles. Justice for Justice for Knuckles.
Justice for Knuckles.
Do we have more Knuckles coming up?
I don't actually know.
Doesn't
But
look
we
like
have-
it. Looks like the Knuckles marathon might be ending here. That's
Oh no.
Wow.
Okay, Knuckles and the shiny things. Make it happen, okay?
okay.
Yeah, Knuckles and the Emeralds and Gems.
We'll get ready for that. All right. Well, thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be seeing Sonic CD with Flying Fox.